Talk us through the recovery period from when you were kind of ready to go home and then after that.
From when I was ready to go home?
Well, yes, I mean, after 2 weeks or so.
Okay, so when I was ready to go home, I was basically collected by my family from the hospital and taken home. Initially, it was very small beginnings. I began by walking around the house, walking down my garden and back, trying to eat and drink as much as I could, which is quite difficult because we naturally eat three meals a day. With having my esophagus removed, my stomach made smaller. I now need to eat more frequently and smaller meals, and this is a habit which is difficult to get into. And equally, drinking amounts is a difficult habit to get into. When normally it's a normal thing you don't do consciously, you just do it as part of your day. But I began from those small beginnings and then gradually expanded the distances I walked. I walked to the end of the road and back. I walked a little bit further down to the village newspaper shop and back. I then started to drive again, just small distances again, to the next village and back, kind of thing, or just locally.
Yeah.
To regain my sense of freedom and a bit of choice as to what I could do, and things have just built from there. And this is it. It's a slow building process. You can't suddenly go from lying on your bed, being able to just get up from your bed, to walking 3 or 4 miles. No. It's a slow, progressive build.
Sure, I understand that. It's step by step, isn't it?
It is, very much so.
It's important to maybe set yourself certain targets.
Yes.
And then build up gradually.
Yes, and the targets can be modest, but at least there's a sense of satisfaction when you get there, and you know it is a measure that you know you are progressing and gives you encouragement to keep on going.
How long do you think this period of rehabilitation took?
It's still happening.
Yes.
I'm still in the middle of it, but it is progressing. I am progressing, and so I'm encouraged. It isn't a straight line progression. Some days you feel very good, and you become very tempted to do more than perhaps you ought to, and you might pay for it the next day. Sometimes even within a day you can be quite good at one part of the day, and then in another part of the day feel like all you want to do is to have a sit down and maybe have a nap.
Yeah.
Some days you get up and you're not as good as you were yesterday or even 2 or 3 days ago. It isn't a straight line progression.
No.
But when that happens, you listen to what your body tells you to do, and then the next day you're feeling good again.
Yes.
And you then press on again. And as long as the trend is up, you're encouraged.
How long are we all together then from when you had the procedure now?
I had the procedure in 3 months ago. I'm 3 months after my operation.
Right, so it's still relatively early days for you. You know, that's why you said, you're still in the middle of it. I can totally understand that.
Yes, it's in my experiences and talking with other people, 3 months. My duration so far is still very early.
Yeah.
But I am very encouraged by how my progress has been in those 3 months.
Yes. How would you compare your physical health overall now to before the diagnosis came about? And I mean before you had the problem with swallowing and everything. I
would say I am about 60%, but gaining.
Yes.
My strength and stamina are still low, and in fact I'm finding that I gain in strength and stamina before I'm gaining in weight. So whilst I'm eating better and taking more in and what have you, I'm not necessarily gaining significant weight at this stage, but I do know that I'm gaining in strength and stamina.
Yeah.
And so that's where my build-up is going to. And so my ability to walk a distance is growing. I'm beginning to be able to now follow some of the activities that I wasn't able to do immediately after my operation, which I had been able to do before, and pick up the pieces of my life.
That's good to hear.